Wherever you turned, someone was wearing a mask.
Disposing of the bodies was a real big issue.
That level of crowding should have never been allowed to happen.
They knew what could happen.
Over 12,000 people died in the city.
And I never knew that this pandemic had hit the United States. I never knew that it was a pandemic so severe that the average lifespan of adults decreased by 10 years. I mean, it was just absolutely astonishing.
Many folks have pointed to the Liberty Loan parade as an event that actually spread the Spanish flu at a higher rate.
The doctors wanted the city not to put on the parade, but there was a big need to sell war bonds.
It's not like today when the government just funnels all kinds of billions of dollars into a war effort. During the Great War, it was thought that in order for a country to fight the war, the people have to be behind it. They began to sell Liberty bonds in April of 1917, right after the declaration of war, for the fourth Liberty Loan. People were already tapped out. I mean, they had asked them many times over to give and give and give.
The government decided to go ahead and have this parade that they had been planning for weeks in order to promote the sale of war bonds because the war was still going on.
Emma Norris, born 1888. She lost her 10-year-old son on October the 10th, and she lost him on a day in which 759 people died from disease or related illnesses. October the 10th. That date has not been exceeded yet in terms of mortalities in a 24-hour period.
No one on the face of the earth has seen this virus before. So now you're not talking about an epidemic, you're talking about a pandemic, which is to say a worldwide epidemic. That's what happened in 1918, 1919, when this virus swept across the world, killing 50 to 100 million people. This was before there was a vaccine.
In fact, the vaccine wouldn't be available for another 20 to 25 years after that. They had a lot of troops that marched through with equipment and everything, and of course, some of these troops were sick while they were doing it.
There was a lot of crowding on Broad Street. I know I've seen pictures then of sort of everybody crowding on Broad Street, during a celebration, and that is a great way to spread the virus. So bad for the people, good for the virus.
And they were rubbing elbows with their neighbors and passing flu around to everyone. And as a result, Philadelphia had the second highest city mortality rate of any city in the United States. The only one they were behind was Pittsburgh.
It was a moment of irresponsibility for the city fathers to choose to drum up support over the concerns of the public health for folks.
I was named after my grandmother, Margaret Conway, in 1918. And in the fall of that year, she lost her 3-year-old daughter, Elizabeth, to the flu epidemic. My grandparents were very sick with the flu, as was their 2 older twin sons. My grandfather actually had to bury his daughter because there were so many people dying and there were so few people available to bury people. My grandfather would go into the basement and sit among his daughter's toys. He was very affected by losing her. So it just stayed with me somehow.